Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first bookish July wrap up and I am really excited. I was planning to do this earlier. I am a little late to it and I'm just really excited to do it. There's so many things that come up, when you're trying to do things and fulfill your there's just so many things that come up when you're trying to do what you want, when you're trying to be creative, when you're trying to be productive. And there's always reason to not do something. I feel like I've had so many responsibilities handed to me recently, so many expectations that are held of me. I feel like I am at the end of everything. I'm not able to do what I want to do, to achieve what I want to achieve, to just make things work. And I'm just worried about all of it, and I'm I don't know, but let me just get started. Well, first books that I read when July began was Ninth House. I got both of these. No, I got this one as compensation from an internship that I did at a publishing house. So this was on their inventory list and I was looking for the first part and I couldn't, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this, and before they hand the books out to me, I'm just gonna get the first part and read it. So before my internship was over, I did manage to complete this and start this one. These books are about you could say that there are sort of like detective fiction slash supernatural fiction slash fantasy fiction slash I wouldn't say detective fiction, but it does, you could say that there's mystery and suspense involved and there is a detective involved, but he's not one of the main characters. The female and male protagonists are unbelievable. There's Darlington and Galaxy Stern. And I don't want to give away the story, I just want you to get into it. I think one of the main reasons you should pick this book up is if you're into secret societies and if you think that secret societies are cool, and this is so close to the reality that you want to believe that this exists and that the whole conspiracy behind it is real. So yeah, and the books are so pretty and I really enjoyed the first one and I was so excited to get into the second one. I finished this so quickly. I usually am a slow reader, but I really finished this very quickly. And when I started this, I read a review before I started this. The review was not good, so it affected how I read this, and now I'm gonna be really careful to not read reviews before I start books. But I know that if I had finished this and there wasn't a book a sequel, I would be disappointed because I would want to know what's next, and I'm just so happy that there is one, and I know that this was going to be longer than a duology, but the author decided to just leave it at that. But the books are so pretty, the storyline's amazing. The second book did seem a little like it was being dragged on, and I feel like certain things should have happened much before, and the plot should have had a little more action involved. But still, nonetheless, I'm really happy with it. These are one of the few books that I would love to have on my shelf, and I do have it now. I would give both of them a 4.5 out of 5. I would give the first one a 5 and the second one a 4.5 because the first one was really, really good and I really enjoyed it, and I just it was the perfect book. These were the perfect books to get me out of the reading slump that I've been in for years. Ever since I started my bachelor's degree in English honors, I have struggled. There's a big huge fly just buzzing around, and if you see it in the video, I'm sorry. I have been trying so hard to find a good filming spot. I've been trying so hard to make this work, but even now the electricity just went and I'm sitting in a room without any ventilation. So I just feel like everything's against me at this point. But you know what? God's on my side. You see the fly sat on my head. So I'm just so irritated, but it happens and I'm just gonna let it go and breathe. Oh my God. Life has been really hard recently. I have things that I've wanted that have gone my way and I feel so blessed and grateful, but I feel like there are a lot of people that have end up coming into my life that I feel a lot of negativity coming from, and they're anyway, I was talking about books. So I would definitely give both of them close to 5 stars. And I love these books. The covers are amazing. I'm so excited that I was able to read a Leigh Bardugo book, because I did not think that she was my cup of tea. What I didn't realize was that ever since I started English honors, that's what I was talking about, when I got into English honors in Christ, Bangalore, I left the college due to some personal reasons. But when I did get into the college, like the first professor that I came in touch with told me that now that you're an English student, you are gonna despise reading after a certain point. Like, you're just not gonna enjoy reading. And I feel like those were like the years that I was supposed to figure out what I really enjoy when it comes to that. You know, I was more than a romance reader, and those years really ruined reading for me. And I feel like I couldn't read anything more than the texts that were prescribed in our syllabus. So I'm really excited. This is like one of like this is what I enjoy reading, and I'm really happy I came across this. And I did know a few years back these classmates that were reading Leigh Bardugo, Six of Crows, and I was like, nah, you know, whatever, like, not my thing. But now that I've read it, I was like, okay, now you know what, really, Omika, I think you need to stop like this like presuming and like this prejudgment that you give on books just because someone else that you don't like is reading them. But wow, I'm really letting my true colors show in this video, aren't I? So these are the two books that I read in the very beginning of July, and I really enjoyed them. The next book that I read was a graphic novel, Allison by Lizzie Stewart. I did also get this from the internship that I did at a publishing house. It is a graphic novel. Graphic novels are super expensive in India, and I just cannot afford it right now. And so I was really excited to get my hands on this as compensation. And I just picked every graphic novel on that inventory list because I was like, you know what, I have to have them. This novel is a coming of age story. It's about a girl from a small town. You could call it a consular woman because I think that's the right term for it. It's about like a coming of age story of an artist. So it is amazing. It's about like this girl who comes from a small town, and like she was in a marriage that she didn't feel like she didn't feel fulfilled in that marriage, and so she like moves on from it. And like, I just don't want to give too much away. I would give this book a 4, and like I would give the graphic part of it, because it's just so beautiful, I would give that a 5. But the storyline, it was a little grim for me. I am an empath, so I get affected by the mood of a book, and it really ruins the rest of my week. And I read this like within an hour, and I needed to pick something up that would get me out of the shitty feeling that I was feeling. It does end on a good note. It is a lovely book, but it's just that the general vibe of it, like the general energy that I received from it, was a little sad. And I'm trying not to pick books like that, because like I'm reading to escape, and it just didn't seem like the right pick at the time. So that's there. And I would give this a 4 out of a 5. But definitely so happy that I have this on my shelf, because it is an amazing book, and it's like one book that I would like recommend to people, just that it's not my cup of tea, you know. So yeah, and the next book that I read was also a graphic novel. It's Speak by Emily Carroll. This book, I know that there is a movie, and I think Kristen Stewart is in it. I could be wrong. This was a novel before it became a graphic novel. I read it in one of the, I think in the very beginning, in the author's note or something like that. The author talks about, I think this is also a true story. She talks about how she wanted to make it a graphic novel for a very long time. The graphic aspect of it is amazing. It's all black and white, but the graphics are amazing. I do have to give you a trigger warning. This book does involve sexual assault. It involves mental health issues and self-harm, depression, social anxiety, a lot of things, like even like one could even say parent abuse, you know. It's just, it is a dark book, and I don't want to, I feel like it feels wrong to rate a book like this, because I feel like it's a true story, and how can you rate someone's true story, you know? Even if it isn't a true story, it's happened with too many women to even, you know, rate something like this. But if it were to be about the graphic aspect of it, I think it's wonderful. It's super pretty. It is a little like, the graphic quality of it does give a little of the Heartstopper series vibe, but other than that, it's totally different. You could see like even the edges look so pretty. It is a lovely book, and I'm happy to have it on my shelf, but I doubt I'll be reading it again, because it's just upsetting. And it just doesn't feel good to read it. It does end on a good note, that's what I would like to say, but I would give this a 5 in terms of its graphicness, like its graphic quality. And I don't know what other term to use. I don't want to say the word illustrations, because illustrations are different from like a graphic novel, from what the graphic qualities of a graphic novel. So yeah, this is the next book that I read in July, after which I read this. uh this book I DNF'd. I picked it up because one of my favorite Goodreads reviewer, um, I thought I made her my favorite because I felt like she was very similar to me in terms of her 5-star reads, and in terms of her reviews are very witty and like quirky, and I like her. So I was like, you know what, maybe our match, like our vibe in terms of romance novels will match, because I am so into angsty slow burn, like, you know, just novels that not many people are into. And I was really hoping that this would be like a really cutesy romance and be so cool, and I got it, and it's not the best cover. I wanted the magenta cover with like one character here and one character here, you know. But so the novel is about, it's about this couple who get engaged, and they begin to like resent each other, and when they figure out that both of them resent each other, they start like having this like battle of like who can last longer, and whoever gives up on the engagement first is supposed to like has to deal with the whole, like, I don't know what the competition is about. I just did not enjoy it. I read like 3/4 of it, and I just couldn't get like through it, and I did not enjoy it, and it was just not my. I was like, can you guys just sit down and talk it out, because like it's very clear that there's some like romantic energy left between the two of you. So I don't understand why there's this like competition and this like, just leave. If you're not happy, just leave. It really isn't like, I just don't get it. Like, it just wasn't my cup of tea, and I'm disappointed now, because I really like that Goodreads reviewer. But you know what, maybe in a few years I'll be able to relate to it, and I like, you know, I don't want to rate this book because I've not finished it, and I feel like if I've not finished a book, I shouldn't like give it a rating because I haven't finished it. But on my Goodreads I have given it a rating. If you want to check it out, give it. But I think the fact that I DNF'd it says enough. It wasn't my cup of tea. Like the romance aspect of it was just gone, and I just did not like it. This also gives it a small town vibe, and if you're into that, you should try it out. The next book that I did read was Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. I got this book as a birthday gift from Chevy, and I mentioned it in my previous video in my birthday vlog. This was a fun read. The cover is super cute. It was a really fun read, and it's like super floppy, the book. Like, look at this, jiggle. But I really like this book. The like the text is small, but like it's like all, it isn't like filling the page up, and like they have these like snippets in the book where they have like bills and lists, and I really love that aspect of it. The book is about it's like an enemies to lovers romance. It's like the background is like high school students who have been competing with grades and like competitions and all of that for so many years, and they hate each other, and it's the last day of school, and they're gonna like have a scavenger hunt. They're gonna compete for the last time. There are a lot of emotions involved, and like when I started this book out, I was a little judgy because I'm not a high school student anymore, and like reading this gives me a little bit of the ick feeling. But it was a good book overall. It's also small town. It's based in Seattle, and like the characters are very diverse, you know. There's so many Indian characters and like so many Indian names involved that it was like giving me I don't know how to feel about that. But there was this like one particular part where she talks about having naan with tamarind chutney, and I was like, okay, I don't know who eats naan with imli, right? Tamarind's imli ki chutney, and I was like, okay, no, let's not go there. And but eventually when the like we go on, the romance gets cute, and like there are parts where I smiled, and like it's been a while since I've read a good romance, so this was a good book. I'll give this a 3.5, simply because like I'm happy I have this book on my shelf, and it made me happy reading it, but it wasn't the best romance, and I haven't read a good romance in a while, so I don't want to give it too high a rating. I feel like 3.5 is a high rating, because I don't know if I'll pick this book up again. But it was a cute romance overall. I feel like it wasn't just like white pasty characters. It also gave like this 90s chick flick vibe where, like, you know, last day of school, like this whole like it takes you through a whole day and like all these emotions and all these like this feeling of like high school being over, and it's just a very cute romance, and I would tell you to read it. Honestly, it's kind of cute, and the cover is super cute too, so like it's a fun read like over a weekend or whatever, like if you just like try to like not read something too serious. So yeah, and then the next book that I read was these two books. I got the second part at this used bookstore in Bangalore. This one was for 60 rupees only, and it's used, so like some of the pages are like I think torn even, or like crushed or something like that. Yeah, there's one page that's like crushed. It's the Spiderwick Chronicles by Holly Black and Tony. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. The first book is what I read first, obviously, the field guide. There's such beautiful books. Like the thing is, I got the Unfortunate series, and as you all know, I love children's literature, so I got the or any books that have illustrations, and I got the Unfortunate series, and I couldn't get through them. I thought I really enjoyed them, and I know that a lot of people enjoy them, but I just couldn't get through them. I have all the books, and then like the illustrations weren't like gripping me enough, or maybe the way the book was written wasn't gripping me enough. But this one just like had my heart instantly. Anything like involving, I feel now that I've come to the realization that anything involving fae, fantasy, or like supernatural stuff, or magic, or anything close to nature, divinity, all of that, and anything that like is innately feminine has my heart. And I feel like this really like I feel like this is the sort of book that I would want to write if I ever end up writing a book. And I keep talking to Dave about it, how like would he be willing to do my illustrations, because it's so pretty, like it's unbelievably pretty, like it's just, and the writing was so good too, like you know, there were these little snippets of like a letter that the children sent to the writers, and like it's just really cute. It's giving the Unfortunate series vibes, but I feel like I read this so much more easily, and it made me excited to finish it. That's something that I struggled with when it came to the Unfortunate series. I could not finish it. Oh, the light's back, yay. So yeah, I got these. I got this, the first part and the fourth part, at a book fair, the World Book Fair that was held in Delhi. But because I got the Unfortunate series that time, the Unfortunate series itself, like each book, I think there are 13-14 books, and I think it's a 13 or 14 part series. I spent like 3k on it, so I could not spend any more money, and they was like, you know what, no Amika, and you can't spend more than this. And I'm really sad that I did that, because I did want to buy other books, and it was such a huge book fair held after so many years, and I'm so sad that I could not. But I'm excited for the upcoming book fair, and I'm hoping to find part 3 and 5. This is the 5-part series, and I can't read the 4th part till I get the 3rd and 5th parts. That's kind of sad, but it's really cute, and I would like, this is definitely something I want to keep on my shelf for my kids, and for anyone who wants to just read like a 15-minute quick read and have like a little, like a serotonin, you know, shot of serotonin, shot of oxytocin, just like such a cute little escapist adventure. And I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's just amazing to like go back to your like childhood days when you were hoping to find a, you know, a secret hidden room, and like a book full of like secrets about like this hidden part of your world that only you can see. It's just so cute, it's adorable, and I would definitely, so you should read this. Okay, and the next book that I read in July was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I got this book at a book fair in Mumbai recently, and I was so surprised to find it, because I don't know how many of you relate to this, but before COVID, we wouldn't get books that were published in the US or like abroad very easily. Even if we did get them, we got them like 8-9 months after they were published, and you would get them for so, like the prices would be so hyped up, you'd get them for like 800, 700, 600 bucks, and you just couldn't spend that amount on books. And I was so I had this on my TBR for a very long time, and I was so surprised to find this. And the craziest part is that I can't believe I used an ableist term. The surprising part about this is that it was a used book, so someone was reading this, and I was really happy. It's not that floppy, so that was kind of upsetting, but the book is, oh, by the way, 5-star. The book is about this scholar who is trying to write up an encyclopedia on fairies, and she's a woman, and she goes to this really cool place in the Scandinavian part of the world, and she finds this, like, she has this adventure with fairies, and she's so like purpose driven and logical and not emotional, and she like goes and gets what she wants. She's a go-getter, and like, you know, usually when you are seeing a female protagonist, you would expect her and want her to be like this, like emotional, kind, generous, like, you know, she should give up everything that is meant for her to, like, you know, save people, to have like this motherly quality, you know, this maternal quality of like protecting and like saving and all of that. But you know, in this book you see that she's allowed to be ambitious, she's allowed to be like selfish, she's allowed to, like, you know, do what she needs to do to make her place in the academic world. And that's really cool. And like, there's also a romantic angle to it. Something that disappointed me about this book was the way the romance feels, like the turning point in the relationship felt a little rushed. Like I remember like just going back a few pages and being like, what just happened? Did I miss a few pages? What just happened? Why did it move so fast, so quickly? And I understand that this book was written as like a scholarly journal to like, and like that's the format of this book, but so she couldn't really include all the like tiny emotional aspects of it, but I still expected a little more. Nonetheless, I'm very excited to read the other two books. I'm kind of sad that I have this version of it, even though it's so pretty. I wanted the darker version, the hardback or like the hardbound version of this, and I'm upset about that. But I'm excited to read the other two books that have come out in this series. I think it's a trilogy, and it was a really nice book, and it made me realize my interest in the Fae, and it was kind of cute, and I read through it and I was happy to read it, and I'd give this a 4 out of 5. Maybe even no, you know what, it's good for a 4 out of 5. Something that really is missing in this book is illustrations. If there were illustrations in this book, I was expecting there to be illustrations in this book, considering that it's a book about fairies and it's such pretty cover. I really, so when I went through the book and I was like, there's not one freaking illustration except like the ones on the chapter pages, I was so disappointed, so disappointed. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed reading this. I've been going on and on about this book even on my Bookstagram. So like, yeah, the last book that I read in July was The Water Babies by Charles Kingsley. This book is such a pretty little book, you know. It's the classic adventure series. I do want the rest of the books. I did not think that I would be collecting these books. I just had two of these books. I have the romantic age poetry book in this collection, you would say, and I have another one. I have The Railway Children, and I have What Katie Did. I've not read What Katie Did. I have read The Railway Children when I was younger, and I can't say I enjoyed it, but it was okay, it was alright, it was a nice book to read. But the romantic poetry book, I used it when I was doing the romantic age in my bachelor's, and it has all these like annotations in it, and it's so cute, and I love that I have it. It's blue color, it's not green. It's blue, like same, you know, hardbound book, and I wish I could have shown that to you, but I can't. But it's so pretty, and I have all these tabs on that as well. So when I came across this book in the book fair in Mumbai, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick it up, because we had to like fill the cart up. It was like this fill the box kind of book fair for this amount of money, and I was really excited, and I was like, you know what, forget it, I wasn't gonna pick this up, but like this cover and like this particular picture was so nice. I wish there were more illustrations in this book. I don't think there are any. I did finish reading this book. I was very surprised by it. I thought it would be really boring and drab, but it was kind of cute. And then I read up on like the author, and I think you call it a bio note, and he's like this he's like a part of the clergy or the church, and he wrote this book, and it's about like, it involves like this, it's a little fairy-esque, like it's about this little boy who is a chimney sweep, who has this master, and this one day he goes to a house to get the to sweep the chimneys essentially, and there's a small misunderstanding with what happens in the house, and he runs away, and he ends up going on this adventure, and I think what this book is mostly about is like morally guiding children of that age, and I think that's what why this book was written, and made sense when I read the author note, and I was like, author noting about the author, and I was like, oh, so this, he's basically just like imparting, morals and values through this book. And like the adventure that the child goes on, you see like this huge like development in his personality, in his character, in his growth. And like you see like how sometimes it's hard for children to be the best versions of themselves, to like become good, and they struggle with it and they try hard for it. And it's a very cute story, and I really liked it. And I really liked these like very adorable little parts where the author is trying to convince the reader why one should believe in these little silly little tales and these silly little fairy-esque things, like and how he tries to tell you to, like, it's only those that are deserving, those are worthy of being able to see this side of the world, the side that is unknown to most of us, the side that no one can see for certain, doesn't exist. It's just really cute, and I would definitely give this a 4.5 out of 5. One reason that I wouldn't give this a 5 was that there were some parts of this book that was just being dragged on and on, and I just couldn't get through it. But towards the end, like, I did enjoy it. The book is like very pretty. I'm hoping to get The Secret Garden, and there's another book that I really want to get. There's a Princess Zelda one, I think. Is that name? I don't know. There's so many classics that are in this edition, or like this collection, and I'm looking forward to going through it. But this was the perfect book to end the month with. I am currently reading Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. Is it Once Upon a River? The title, I could be wrong. The second book by Diane Setterfield that she wrote, and I love her, and I love 13 Tale, and I'm reading that right now, and I'm hoping to show you like a new set of books for the next month. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will be going on a book fair this week, at the end of this week, and I am hoping to give you guys a run through of what I'm hoping to find at the book fair. And it'll be really disappointing if I don't end up finding anything, because this one is a smaller book fair, but I am really excited for it. That's all I've been looking forward to this month, and I'm just really excited, and I hope it goes well. Currently in my life, I'm going through some really tough things. There are people in my life that are connected to me through other people. I don't know how much of that makes sense, but they're making living life really hard. They're making me very anxious, very scared, but I haven't lost my faith in the universe and God and myself. Fly, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I'm getting a little emotional over it. It took a lot out of me to make this video, because I was looking forward to it for so long. I was excited to make it, and then I feel like there's always something, my circumstances, people around me, that are holding me back. And I just want to say that whoever out there is struggling because people around you are hurting you, upsetting you, bullying you, and you feel helpless, just know that the universe, even if you do not believe in it, that it holds any power, things will have to come, a balance will have to be restored. If things are going bad, things are going wrong, a balance will have to be restored. People will have to pay. I think a lot of people just are in denial of the fact, or do not want to believe that those that do wrong to others, that those that hurt others, they won't be punished, or you won't receive any sort of justice for what you've gone through. But I just want to tell you that, even though I'm struggling right now, I do believe that it'll all be okay, even though I feel like I can do nothing about it. I just hope that all of you out there are able to fight for yourselves, stand up for yourselves. It will be worth it, even if standing up for yourself would mean that you will be pushed back to your knees on the ground, or however else I should phrase that. It really is up to you to stand back up. It really is up to you to find a way out of that situation, to find a way to get rid of those people from your life, to find a way to cut people off, to live your best life, to make choices that serve you first. Because if you do not take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of anyone else around you. You won't be able to care for people around you. So I hope you find the strength, and I hope I do too. And I'm really excited to share the rest of my deals with you, and I hope you like this video. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, I love you guys. Bye.